State-owned airports company South Africa, which operates the country's major airports, reported an 81% increase in revenue, while losses for the year were down to 1 billion rands. That's compared to 2.6 billion rands last year, as COVID-19 travel restrictions have been lifted, as has ACSA's performance in the past year. For more on this and other highlights from the year, we are joined by ACSA CEO Mpumi Mpofu. Mpumi, thank you very much for joining us. According to your financial performance this year, ACSA is on a road to recovery, but it is certainly a better place than the company was 2 years ago, where they went to government, cap in hand, asking for a bailout. I think it was of 3.5 billion rands.
Thank you very much, Kolani, for that. Point of correction. We didn't ask government for a bailout at all. We were assisted with government in terms of the provision of a preference share, not similar to a bailout. We've never been in that position. What we have managed to do, though, is through a very turbulent and difficult year, actually ensure the implementation of our recovery and sustain strategy, which has seen our revenue in this particular 12-month period at 3.9 billion. That's very significant given July unrest, Delta variant, Omicron, and by definition, I think we've come out really looking good. Our EBITDA is up, and all indications are that we're on a road to recovery. What becomes important in the aviation sector is that we've been led by the domestic market in that recovery, which has contributed 83% of all passengers, whilst our international market, as a result of the travel restrictions globally, has remained a muted 28%. So we're very excited. We've seen this at the end of the financial year in April. You would know that immediately after, in 2022, our own government lifted the travel restrictions. We've also seen more recently the restrictions lifted in China, which is starting to really contribute positively towards a sustained recovery in the aviation sector. The war in Ukraine and Russia also had its own negative impact starting the beginning of this year. And as such, we also have seen the impact on that, on energy and fuel costs, and it really dampened economic outlook, which has meant that whilst we've put everything in place for recovery, the economy has contributed towards a much slower recovery than we originally anticipated.
No, a good set of results indeed when you look at the domestic travel that accounted for that 83% of passenger traffic domestically as well. There are developments with SA Express Mpumi being confirmed by the court to be liquidated, while we saw in the past year the demise of Comair. When you look at this as an operator of airports for domestic travel, what does it mean for customers? What changes are you seeing? And for your performance as well financially, looking ahead, what will that mean, the demise of these airlines on a domestic level?
The indications are clearly that it slows down our recovery further. But I must hasten to add that the impact is only for a short while. The tendency in the aviation sector is as soon as one airline faces trouble, is either liquidated or taken out of business, the other competing airlines are able to increase their capacity. Initially, they increase pricing. As you've seen, domestically, the price of a ticket has gone to unexpected levels. But very soon after, they are able to further lease aircraft after they witness increased load factors and basically are able to replace the capability that was from another airline. So initially, passengers will face a squeeze, but as we stand right now, together with our airline partners, we are now planning for what is an expected upsurge in the festive season, and they have gone out into the markets to look for replacement fleet to increase the number of aircrafts they have in order to be able to cater for that surge that we're all expecting. So in a sense, you're able to plan for that capacity, and most airlines have indicated that they will be able to do so in this short period leading up to December and ensure that we have the capacity, pricing is able to come significantly lower than it has been in recent days, to the extent to make travel, tourism affordable and pleasurable for our customers in December.
ACSA Mpumi has been one of the best performing state-owned entities for many years, bar that COVID-related period, which was, of course, understandable. I'm asking this because the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, was at pains to explain that ACSA is not for sale. He explained in a statement that there have been many investors who are interested in buying a stake or the whole of ACSA. What does ACSA say? Because he also says there has been approaches to government and approaches directly to the company itself.
Well, let me just make it very clear. This is a shareholder matter, but from where we are, and the Minister and major shareholder is absolutely correct, our recovery and sustain strategy is looking up. It's about expanding the business of ACSA in recovery, and it's actually ensuring that we grow our footprint domestically, and that means we're getting into partnership with many other domestic markets to give them professional skilled services in their areas. We're looking to the continent, particularly to ensure that we're able to provide those similar services. You know that historically we were able to build, operate, and transfer the Ghana airport. Recently, in this financial year, we provided services to Ndola Airport in Zambia. So our strategy is to expand. We have no intentions of disposing of any part of ACSA, even if the shareholder confirms that. But in essence, what we expect is a growth strategy that we've adopted and will be implementing, which basically looks at diversifying our revenue streams. Now, in that area of the diversification of our revenue streams, there are opportunities for investments. We have structured a PPP model that will look at investors coming in and participating with us on the cargo value chain, on the Aerotropolis value chain, which is about property development, on our commercial portfolio. But the sale of airports, I can confirm that it does not feature in the wildest expectations, not at this stage. ACSA is doing exceptionally well. Immediately in this year, 2022-23, we will be showing an upswing. Full recovery expected in 24-25, and we're certain by then the strategies that we aim to implement will be basically starting to show us returns. So yes, we'll be diversifying our portfolio. Yes, we know that in certain of these exciting projects we could do with private sector partnerships, and we will be going out to look for those partnerships, but not disposing our airports, not at this stage, not in the foreseeable future from where we stand.
Mpumi Mpofu is the CEO at Airports Company South Africa. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.